How you doing? My guy. How you feel?
I'm here.
All right. All right.
It's availability.
Yeah, it's the number one ability.
That's right.
It's going to go through all your guys, but just what you've seen of Trayvon and where he is coming back off that injury and how he's moving out here and what you've seen from him.
I think he's looking good for where he's at in his rehab. I tip my hat to the strength staff, the rehab staff for doing a really good job, and also to Trey for working hard to try to get himself back.
Obviously, like Kalen Carson a lot coming out. What have you seen from him, and is he meeting your expectations or exceeding them?
Yes, he's actually doing a really good job. I would say a little bit of both, you know what I mean, because I knew coming in, and once again, tip my hat to Will McClay and the scouting department, but knew coming in that this kid was going to be raw but extremely talented, and he's doing a great job picking up the coaching points, competing, and he's a joy to coach.
What do you like most about him at this stage? Just the competitive fire in him, or is there some technique he's got to catch up on? How would you assess that?
I like the blank canvas. When you a lot of times when you get older guys, you kind of have to break them out of bad habits or tolerate bad habits. When you get the younger guys, the newer guys who are talented, but not to like throw stones or anything at their coaches, but just haven't been taught the things that they're being taught here. That's what I like about it. He listens and he does what you ask him to do, and goes from there.
Last year at this time, you're saying some of the same things about Eric Scott and how is he coming back in his second year? Where do you see him right now?
Right now, I think Eric Scott is doing a good job of competing. So that second tier of guys all in the same bucket. They're doing a great job of competing, and he comes out to work every single day.
Oftentimes I'll see Trey standing right by your side on the sidelines. How would you describe your relationship with him?
Trey and I are tight. Yeah, we're tight. On, off the field, and I don't know how you look at that professionally or whatnot, but when you got guys that understand each other, I know what he's been through, know what he's going through, so just sprinkle in the wisdom when you can. But I would say it's organic, and there's still the coach-player relationship, but there's also mentor-type relationship also, if that makes sense.
Jordan was talking that he called Trayvon a genius when he plays. Where is that? How much work does he put into the thinking part of the game, and in the meeting room, and studying splits and receivers and what they like and things?
Well, that's what we talk about here. So those are the things that we harp on as far as in the cornerback room. So Trey has an uncanny ability to catch the flash of the ball. So as far as my job to get him is to just get the proper reads and just let him go from there. And I think the genius aspect of it is from there, gets his read, gets his keys, man, and it's him from there on out. He runs routes.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since you've seen a defensive player run routes as a defensive player. So that's the genius aspect of it.
Were there other corners that if it was you or guys you played with or against, that were similar in that way, that ran routes?
Yeah, you know what? The guy, Coach Marcus Peters, was very similar to running routes. Charles Woodson was a guy to see it and just go ahead and go run the route for him. So there are some guys that don't come around a lot, but there are some guys.
Did Trey ever tell you last year how much he missed being out there? Or is it not even something that needed to be said?
Not something that needed to be said. I think I might have told him more than he was telling me. So no, totally knew that he was missing it. Guy's super competitive. So to be a young player and to get hurt, early in your career, that's tough. You know, it gets dark at times, but he knows everybody's just a phone call away. So sometimes it was dark, and then sometimes you just call to say, hey man, what's going on, what's up, X, Y, and Z.
Micah talked about how him and Trey were doing these morning meetings with Mike Zimmer and getting that extra prep in with him. How big is that for you to see, you know, as you're coaching DBs, to see Trayvon seeking that out, and how do you think those meetings have helped him?
I think they've helped. I think it's good to hear another voice. You know what I mean? Because not that he hasn't heard other voices, but just to hear another voice, I think it's good. And I think they've been helping him.
That route running, route mimicking ability Trey has, is that something you can teach to other guys, or do you just sort of have to have that innate ability?
I think it's a combination of both, because that's what we teach here. That's the teaching that's going on as far as the cornerbacks here. But everybody can't do it. So I think it's a little bit of both, to where, you know, Trey can do it. And being an ex-receiver, you know, I mean, a lot of the things that we're talking about, once it gets into the route, you can kind of see and get to where he needs to get to. Bland also does a good job at it. But that's what we do here. You know what I mean? That's a part of it.
After establishing himself the way he did last year with Trayvon out, how have you seen Duron come back in this camp? Is there a difference just in how he carries himself? Anything about his approach after coming off of last season?
No, man. That's what's so awesome about him. You know, because whether you like it or not, man, guy had an excellent season. You know what I mean? A record-breaking season. You know, but you wouldn't be able to tell, you know, because he doesn't boast or anything like that. Super humble. So, man, he carries himself the same way. You wouldn't know. I'm telling you, if you didn't watch it or see the stats, you wouldn't know it. And that's a testament to him, man. He does a great job of just staying humble, staying neutral, and just staying right here.
Which one of your corners is the most like you?
Pardon me?
Which one of your corners is the most like you?
It depends on what we're talking about. It depends on what we're talking about.
Let's go as a player on the field.
As a player on the field, I think mindset-wise, yeah, I got to go with Trey, and then it would be Bland.
Okay. What about off the field?
Probably the same. Probably the same.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Al.